Hello my friends, I'm here to talk about the map Hill Fort. Hill Fort is this map here where you are actually born within a hill fort. And there are a lot of different things here and trick stuff on this map that I would like to share with you guys because I think it's very important to understand the map we're playing before we actually talk about the strategies and what work and what doesn't. So to start with, on this map you are born within your base and there are four small forests for you to use. So basically you can have access to each one of these four forests here. You can just place a lumber camp in each one of them, and honestly, I don't think you have to go outside of your own base to collect wood, at least during the early stages of the game, Dark Age and Feudal Age. You also have a regular amount of ships, so you're just going to play with 8 earthable units here, and you are also going to have access to two boards very close to your TC, which means that you don't, even if you are a less experienced player, this is probably a map where you can get your boards without the loom, or you can at least try to challenge yourself to do so. There are also four deers. Those deers are very close to the town center, and there's one very special thing that I would like to mention. There are no berries here and no chicken within your walls. So yes, you do somehow get deers inside of your fort, which honestly I find it very funny because why not just getting like, I don't know, berries? How did you trap those deers inside? Anyway, I'm not gonna overstand on that. But basically, there's like no correct place for you to place the meal. There are, of course, two neutral berries on the map, but they are truly neutral ones. So it's likely that those berries can even appear on the backside of your opponent, like the two of them. So do not count with those berries as part of your build. That's my tip. So for that reason, civilizations such as Frank, Portuguese, or even civilizations that you are considering to use here to get benefit from the berries are probably not a good call. Apart from that, you can just place a mill here on your own base to get the deers or centralize it in somewhere where we want to place the farms. Why do you want to place a mill? Well, in order to go for a market later on and play harps, click up, and of course to allow yourself to go for farming. You were born here within fortified palisade walls, and this actually means that it's more difficult for your opponent to deliver any kind of damage to you. Basically, when you think about this fortified palisade wall, they actually have 2 melee armor and 5 pierce armor, so feudal age army will take longer to kill that than a regular palisade, which means that if your opponent starts to attack you, and of course he's going to be attacking you from downhill, you can just defending by walling back. So you can just wall using your wood. You get attacked on this corner, you wall and you wall. You get attacked on your gate, you can just place like a big building and you are gonna be good to go. Just place like a barracks, a market or anything and you're just blocking all this area. So to attack someone during the feudal age on this map, it's a big challenge and I do not recommend. I think that of course you can try to aim to attack your opponent, place towers around him and something like that, but I don't feel like this is good. Survivalist here is doing a great approach. He's playing as the Armenian and he is already taking several gold here in order to buy his way to the Castle Age. But my personal recommendation is that if you're going for a Castle Age build, go for more farms than you are usually used to make, and this is probably gonna work quite well for you. As you can see, his survivalist here is playing as the Armenian, his opponent Fiage is playing here as the Mongols, and since you have already a big pile of gold and a big pile of stone, you can already think about strategies like the castle drop. So playing Spanish, Turks, Berbers, I don't know, one of any of the Mongols, any of these civilizations where you have access to good castle age units and try to get those ahead of to counter the map is not a bad approach. As you can see, both players are going towards a fast castle approach, Survivalist as the Armenian, Age as the Mongols, Age going heavy for the stone, which means that he probably wants to play here with the Mangudai, and Survivalist here as the Armenian, which means that he can probably play with monks or go for the booming. And my personal recommendation for this map is go for the fast castle, do not lose time during the castle age, and actually focus on the boom. So either boom and defend from any kind of attack. So your opponent is going for unique unit, defend with monks and boom, like Survivalist is doing, or just go for disrupting your opponent boom yourself. In order to develop, your opponent will probably have to develop towards the sides of the map. There is just so much you can do here on your own map. Survivalist, for example, is dropping here a town center, which will be pretty good to defend his stone and his other woodlines, but that alone is not capable of allowing you to expand. In order to expand, you have to boom and you have to go towards the sides of the map. There are many good spots, and basically just place your town center in one of these big woodlines is probably my approach here to go. It's either even easier to defend here by just adding a few more buildings later on. As you can see, you can just keep reinforcing your own hill fort with your natural buildings, and I mean buildings that you would do anyway, like for example the houses. Huh. Nice run here from Survivalist. I don't know if you run enough here from the Mango Die. Yeah, not, but still did a good job. So right now we have FH with 2 TCs and attacking with Mango Dice, but Survivalist is defending here, and he has decided to go for a counter unit to the Mango Die. He has decided to play with Crossbowmen. The extra range and the mini boom might actually allow him to play quite well. As you can see, FH is having quite some difficulties to find any target, so going to the castle age is not a guarantee that you are gonna be able to raid your opponent. See, he can actually defend himself with castles, with fortified monasteries, and eventually you have to boom outside yourself. So booming here is essential. Adding multiple TCs and playing during castle age is the way to go for the map. On this map, for example, you can see FH trying to raid Survivalist, who's defending with ballistics crossbowmen. By adding this castle, he's just gonna secure all this area. I haven't mentioned it, guys, but there is this small pound here around your hill fort. You can actually place docks and try to use any kind of navy to defend yourself. I think that the problem with adding the navy here is that you are just gonna be limited on a portion of the map. Let's say that I have boats out there and the Mongol decide to attack me on the land. I won't be able to move my boats towards there. But of course, you can still use boats here as support units. Galleons, elite cannon galleons to siege, dromons, things like this. So that's still an opportunity. On team games, I have even seen approaches where players would go for docks there and go for like longboats or things like that. So there's a lot of room for improvement and to develop strategies. As you can see on this map, Survivalist is going for some heavy booming. Despite the efforts, FH is having a lot of trouble to besiege for his opponent. You are always going to have to besiege the guy from the bottom, so it's never like you are going to have any advantage when you are attacking. It's the opposite. The attacker will always got the advantage, will always got the leverage. Not a bad attack by FH, great micro, but still it's very difficult. As I said, you were always fighting from downhill. You cannot find a good spot to drop a castle and deny your opponent, so eventually the guy that's focusing a bit more on the booming tends to win this matchup. Let's try to see another game. I actually selected a game where someone tried to go for a feudal age approach here. We have Bruh playing against Survivalist. Yeah, Survivalist probably nailed and understood how this map works. Let's watch on his point of view. This time he is the one playing with the Mongols. Of course, with Mongols and all this hunt, you can actually make a very solid build and try to get faster towards the castle age. Honestly, I would say that Khmer can actually be a good save here, since their farms are great and you do not require a mill. You can actually skip this build and go for a straight fast castle just by dropping like 3-4 farms on your base and then start to boom or going for cavalry or anything like this. On this game, Brew actually went for a mining camp here. As you can see, he has one mining camp on the gold, one mining camp on the stone. He did make use of all the hunt he had, and he saved up the sheep, the herdables here for the feudal age. And instead of investing to the mill, he did send 4 villagers forward, and he is attacking here using surgeons. So, donjon, surgeons, archers, a very aggressive approach, but as you can see, One of the issues of using this approach is that you have to start scatter your units apart. The archer range is on the right side, the towers is there. This is good to control the map, but it's also bad when you have to defend yourself. Survivalist here is just adding his own archer range. There's no way this wood will be targeted unless Bru goes all the way off. When Bru's trying to razz the gate, Survivalist is actually just placing buildings here to defend, so it becomes very difficult to advance over a guy, and once the defender starts to add tower, man, this becomes quite impossible to deliver any damage. On top of that, while you are moving your army around, you can actually get counter-attacked by villagers, like Survivalists just did here, in a very messy way, but honestly, it did work. Now the gold is safe, the dungeon is no more, with only and the other dungeon is also going down because Bro army is on the other side trying to get in, while Survivalist is easily defending, counting on the endurance of his fortified palisade walls to give him extra time, and defending with a few views. So basically you can go heavy on the stone, you can go for a few skirmishers, and you are just defended from any kind of feudal age push. This feudal age push could have been a lot stronger here if it was executed, for example, in a different map. As you can see, despite the efforts from Bro and to control the map and everything, it's not like Survivalist is feeling threatened so far. He has the same amount of views, and he's also the first one to click towards the castle age, while also with having like several towers to defend himself. Honestly, Survivalist has to take those dungeons down because they're probably becoming stronger during castle age, and well, it seems to be exactly what he's doing by adding some archers inside of his own towers. Bro is trying to fight to double the bet here and playing with sergeants, but the towers are doing a good job defending, and as I said, it's very easy to defend the hill fort, even against an experienced player like him. So defending here is not a big task. Probably you might feel not so comfortable because of how much space you might actually have for yourself to use. This is probably gonna be the biggest downside from this, and right now let's go for the booming. Survivalist is developing here with more to seize, more to seize. There's nowhere to run to, guys. You are always gonna have to play like that by developing your econ and booming here on the side. If you do find some good or interesting civ and strategy that is about to dominate this map, just tell me, just reach me out and send me like an email, comment on the video, send me the information. But right now, I think that playing okay here, choosing a castle age unit and booming is actually working quite well. As you can see here on this game, Survivalist is once again dominating the map with a regular unit like the Crossbowman. He could be doing this with Cav Archer, he could be playing with Hans and doing Cav Archers, Wei and doing Cav Archers, he could be playing as Khmer and going for light cavalry or anything like that, so I think that all these approaches are valid, and right now he's actually pushing his opponent economy, but kind of ignoring the hill fort. He's focusing a lot more on raiding the sides here. Raiding one side with a castle and crossbowmen, going towards the other side by dropping castles as well. So this is probably the best approach you can use. Good defense here by Brood, at least stopping the castle for a while. That could hurt so much. And the hill forts, guys, they are very difficult to siege. With fewer units, you can actually still manage to defend yourself here, as Bro is doing and as Survivalists did. Castle is finally up. The boom from the Sicilians is getting nerfed. Elite skirmishers are trying to do something to the Mongols. Survivalist has no stable to defend himself, so he just keeps adding town centers. The game has become a full mess here, guys. That's a full mess, but we're just sticking with the concept of booming and developing towards the end of the game. Right now, Survival is about to click to Imperial Age, and honestly I think that the first one to click to Imperial Age will have a huge leverage on this map. Let's also talk about Imperial Age and how you can actually play. Honestly, you cannot make walls on this portion of water here, but you can actually wall by making two docks. You can place one dock like there, another one here, and you can block the access to through the river and complete that with walls. So that's another option that you have to defend yourself, but that's mostly talking about Imperial Age, okay? Castle Age and Imperial Age. That's not something that you want to make this huge investment so early on, and you are still not going to have a full wall, but instead of that, some docks, which of course you can do, you can use together with some demolition ships. You can be creative while defending. Right here on this game, we can see Survival is playing Revi here with his archers, going out for trebuchets. Bruh on the other side is actually gonna have to develop and do something else because he did lose a lot of map. He does have a good amount of skirmishers. He will have to push back the Mongol. And that's basically it, guys. On Imperial Age, you actually want to secure one of these sides to yourself, and if possible contest the other, because you do want to develop towards these sides because all the resources of the map are gonna be here. The hill fort will be no more than an old settlement with a few farms inside, and that's for both players. The wood from the inside is not gonna last until in the Imperial Age, so you do have to develop and secure and focus on securing these portions of land here when you are playing on the Imperial Age. So that's basically the idea. The game is not gonna change so much from there. Let's try to see another game, like a third one here, that I did select for this analysis. And where is it? Okay. We do have here Cuman versus Spanish. So other civilizations that can be quite good on the map. Why the Cumans? Well, with the Cumans you can actually go for feudal age booming and try to outboom your opponent. Why the Spanish? Well, with the Spanish, you can actually go for the castle drop and try to control the game and dominate the map using conquistadors. So different approaches that you can also use, but nonetheless you are not gonna be able to run from the, you have to go to the side to develop your eco, and the fights are mostly gonna take place during the castle age. So right here you have Mr. Bean in red, play as the Cuman. He did develop towards the next age. He's now adding a new town center. As you can see, that's a very smart to see because it gives access into the wood and also to the stone. And right here, he's gonna start to develop his economy. Difficult to be punished since he's Cuman. If the Spanish wants to punish him somehow, he'll have to develop towards the other side. In order to buy even more time and try to delay the Spanish, not only he's going for double TC boom, but he is also sending villagers forward to do what? Towers. We know, guys, he's probably not gonna be able to deliver enough damage to the Spanish, but he is at least buying enough time and forcing the Spanish to waste some resources, and that can actually delay his castle push at least a bit. If the Spanish doesn't react, the Cuman can just keep attacking and trying to deny his resources. So that's a very annoying approach. Now guys, let's talk about something. Where to place your castles. On this game here, the Spanish player did choose to drop the castle on this area in the between here. Honestly, I think this is very bad. You are not taking out any resource from your opponent. You cannot build a castle on these hills here, so you cannot punish the guy with a forward castle. Honestly, against the Cuman, I think that the best play for Jen Hay here, if he had spotted, would be dropping a castle next to this town center to try and kill it. So if you are going against a Cuman and you want to play castle drop, try to castle drop his other castle to at least try to deny and push these views. Probably this guy didn't notice it, and he was actually more concerned about the tower push here from the Cuman, which in my opinion honestly is just a distraction. All these towers and all these resources that Mr. Bean is forcing Jen Hay to waste is just a small distraction for him to fulfill his plan, which is booming. The tower push has finally been countered. The Spanish is about to push the town center, but the Cuman was actually able to buy some time by dropping his own towers. With buildings and a few defensive towers, he could actually defend his mainland from the Spanish threat. And now, by placing some watchtowers and repairing his buying time towards the castle age. He's on castle age, more than 14 views ahead than the Spanish, but he's under some Revis siege. So if you want to kill the Cuman, you have to take this TC down right now and not allow him to do anything else. Honestly, I would just camp my conquistadors close to this siege workshop to snipe whatever Mangonel got out of it. But unfortunately, Jen Hay had other plants. His conquistadors weren't able to snipe the mangoes eventually defend here, and just by having this extra economy, Mr. Bean won once again with the booming. So guys, focus on the booming, try out new civs, try out new strategies. I think that there's a lot of meta to be developed here on this map. I think that fast castles with ranged units can also be pretty good to try to raid and control the area, like going for Cav archers, Breton archers, the way Cav is specific Cav archer as well. There are many approaches viable here, and fast castling with civilizations such as Khmer, for example, can also be pretty good. Hope you guys enjoy it. This was the video on Hill Fort with a few high-level game examples.